विकटशक्षत श्वासाधिकार विचित्राकार भक्तोपकार अकलंक विभास्वर विघ्नेश्वर हर गुरु सोदर लंबोदर श्रीमूलाधार चक्र विनायका. This very beautiful composition on Lord Ganesha, Sri mUlAdhAra Chakra Vinayaka. What I sang was a segment of the Madhyamakala Sahitya of this composition. This particular episode, we are going to see the absolute mastery, the place, the status, the reason why Madhyamakala exists in the composition, in the Carnatic composition, all aspects of the composite that I think the Madhyamakala Sahitya in Muttuswami Dikshitar's compositions come to represent. We shall examine some of them and dwell in the joy that it creates. Almost every composition needs, in all genres, needs something to demarcate its sections, to kind of declare that this section has ended, or to declare that this composition has come to an end. The Madhyamakala Sahitya is one beautiful device by which Muttuswami Dikshitar and some composers even before him have used the device of the Madhyamakala Sahitya as a crowning glory to the composition. It is called a cadential device. Muttuswami Dikshitar, in almost 90% of his compositions, uses this Madhyamakala device embedded with Sahitya, not just swaras, to provide the lyrical continuity and context of the composition. Almost in 90% of his composition, you see that this is the kind of a crucible of the entire composition. That climactic feel, that sense of finish that the Madhyamakala Sahitya gives. We find that among Shama Shastri, Tyagaraja and Muttuswami Dikshitar, Muttuswami Dikshitar's compositions are characterized by that. I think back to the very beautiful film Amadeus, which is on the life of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, the great composer Mozart. And once, as a teenager, when he presents a beautiful opera composition to the king is disappointed because he says, "You didn't give me a loud bang at the end of the composition." So that climactic sense of the composition coming to an end at a uccha, I call it a uccha sthiti, where at a high, it seems to be a thing of joy. And that is what I think Muttuswami Dikshitar accomplishes in his Madhyamakala Sahitya. It has a role to play. What is Kala? Kala generally refers to tempo. It is one of the Tala Dasha Pranas. Kala means tempo. So we have typically Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Vilamba, Madhyama and Tritakala. It's also called Tritakala. These three categories of slow, medium and fast are always going to be relative. Tempo is a relative concept. But in contrast to the Vilambakala, Madhyamakala exists. As if the composition is slow and melismatic, the Madhyamakala is at the double that speed with syllabic orientation of the Sahitya. So the sense of Madhyamakala is also something that has to be understood. It is not just a doubling of speed alone. It is a punctuated syllabic arrangement of the Sahitya. The idea of Tirmanam. Tirmanam means a decisive ending point. For example, in a concert, during a kriti, the mridangam takes over the Tirmanam. It brings to end with a particular rhythmic three-part combination, a korvai or a muktaipu, to signal the end of it. Correct? In Dikshitar's compositions, he takes up that job for the kriti itself. Muttuswami Dikshitar was overflowing with his content of Sahitya. He had so much to say he had so much to describe in so many contexts. We shall go into all that. That to condense that and to contain it, this device of the Madhyamakala was a very beautiful choice. You can pack in more Sahitya in lesser time. Correct? So towards compaction also, the Madhyamakala Sahitya serves a purpose. The Madhyamakala Sahitya also gives, because it is at a heightened speed, a bird's eye view, zooming out of the picture. So when you remove yourself farther from a particular visual setting, you see that the clarity of the whole structure of the raga, of the tala, become clearer to you. Even murchanas, raga phrases, everything becomes clearer when it is sped up. Many of Madhyamakala Sahitya of Muttuswami Dikshitar are a summary of the whole raga. My guru says, Muttuswami Dikshitar teaches you the raga. This teaching is maximum in the Madhyamakala Sahitya. Many of the new ragas, the raganga ragas in which there were no compositions, the Madhyamakala Sahitya teaches you the exact orientation of the Varjya and Vakra very clearly. The very clear picture of the Vakra and Varjya of the raga may not be contained in the body of the composition, but in the Madhyamakala it becomes very clear. In aesthetics, there is something called laminar flow and turbulent flow. In all aesthetic design, we find that some things are flowing in a very laminar way, very smooth, very seamless, and there is the turbulent flow, which is where there is disruption, where there is excitement, there is more activity. So in the context of the composition, the bulk of the composition is the laminar flow, and the Madhyamakala is the tubular flow. In terms of the perception and the joy, delight that the Rasika experiences, I'm looking at this device called Madhyamakala as providing all the aspects of aesthetics. The other very beautiful thing about Madhyamakala is that it allows for rhythmic design. We shall see how jatis and many aspects of the Tala Dasha Pranas, like yati, like kala, like kriya, all these aspects, like prastara, these are all aspects of Tala Dasha Pranas. Muttuswami Dikshitar in his Madhyamakala is able to present it very seamlessly. Only if you go into the analysis of the Madhyamakala, you will realize, oh, this is a prastara happening here. This is a yati happening here. And the language of Sanskrita, with its very, very rhythmic tradition in slokas, mantras, chanting, that aspect of the mantra and the chant, Muttuswami Dikshitar folds it into the kriti. The long words, the compounded words, the prasa, that is the rhyming scheme, how beautifully these rhymes of the first akshara prasa, dvitiya akshara prasa, antya akshara prasa, all of that come to the fore in terms of the language and its rhythmic encasement. Every language has a particular rhythm by which it is sensed. Samskrita, the way we have learnt it or way we have experienced it, is very rhythmic in its nature. So that in Madhyamakala Sahitya of Muttuswami Dikshitar, we see his superlative craft of handling the rhythmic aspect of the language. This is not happening through a cognitive or a thought-out process. Yes, the intelligence is the intelligence of, I always say, the Vak and Vani and the Veena of Mata Saraswati flows through Dikshitar. Like for example, in what I sang now, Vikata Shat Shata Swasadhikara Vichitrakara Bhaktopakara. Now this whole line is nothing but an embellished unfolding of the Aroha of Sri. He starts with the most beautiful phrase, most beautiful murchana of Vigarisa, Vikata, Vikataka is the Swarakshara, Vikata Shat, Shat, Swarakshara, Vikata Shat, Shata, Swasadhikara. Look at the punctuation. Vichitrakara, the prasa. Bhaktopakara, that kara is the prasa. Antyakshara prasa. akalanka vibhaswara vigneshwara hara guru guha sodara lambodara. If you look at, there are two avartanas of the Madhyamakala. In the second, the first of it is seemingly very simple and goes squarely in 4, 4, 4, 4. The second one, it is what I call asymmetry which is mirrored. Akalanka vibhaswara 10. Vigneshwara is 6. So 10 and 6 make up 16. In the second line, in the Uttaranga, it is exactly 6 and 10. Hara guru guha is 6. Sodara lambodara is 10. Now, what does this 10 and 6 and 6 and 10 do to you? It creates a structure which is so beautiful that you don't even realize that this is what is behind it. And all this very seamlessly with the prasa flowing so beautifully. To learn the raga, to understand how the raga moves, you just have to take up a Muttuswami Dikshitar kriti, look at the Madhyamakala specifically and see how the phrases orient, how they dovetail into each other. And then your understanding of the raga just becomes so beautiful. Because it will contain the aroha, avroha, it will contain the jiva prayogas, it will contain the murchanas, all of them will be contained there. mahA gaNapatim manasa smarami mahA gaNapatim vasishta vama devadi vandita mahA. Again swaraksharam on vama. Vasishta vama. So one line which captures the whole raga. Pasani pa magamari zanizariga mahakavyanata. So he stresses the dhatu of sama and sapa in this kriti. Mahakavyanataka priyam. In the first Madhyamakala, what did he do? Vasishta vama. That dhatu is stressed. Pasani pama sapa marisa. Those two he mirrors. Mahakavyanataka priyam. Mushika vagana modaka priyam maka gaNapatim. Here, the raga mudra is so beautifully ensconced in that Mahakavya Nataka Priyam Nataka. The word is nATaka, as Ganesha is the lover of Kavya Nataka. But then nAta is the name of the raga. In the equally popular composition in bEgaDa, again on Ganesha, vallabhA nAyakasya, there is Madhyamakala in both. Again, this is also a samashti charana kriti. In both Pallavi and the samashti charana it is there. vallabhA nAyakasya bhaktoham bhavami. The Madhyamakala in the Pallavi, vanchitartadayakasya varamushika vahanasya vallabhA. Again, a beautiful embellished aroha avroha. You don't even realize that it is something as basic as the aroha avroha. Samagamapa daririda vanchita tadayakasya varamushika vahanasya. You can put sollukattu. Sollukattu is the actual recitation of the rhythm. You know, in our tradition, ta tadhim ta ta tadhim ta takadhim ta kata tadhim ta is what this is. So the glory of the jati is embedded in the vanchitartadayakasya. So when you sing, you have to bring out that rhythmic punctuation. Ta tadhim ta ta tadhim vanchitartadayakasya. It is Dikshitar's mastery of the long vowel and the short vowel. Long syllable, short syllable. That makes it flow like that. The prasa, asya, asya, beautifully coming about. The same prasa is maintained in the Madhyamakala following the samashti charana. Valli vivaha karanasya guru guha pujitasya kali kala malini kamalakshi sannutasya vallabhā. We don't even realize what is so mesmerizing about it. It is that prasa which is so mesmerizing. And in the 70-80 kritis that I've analyzed of his Madhyamakala, most of the prasas are never repeated. Valli vivaha karanasya, a beautiful half avroha. Guru guha pujidasya, a half aroha. Kali kala malini, the second half of the aroha. Kamalakshi sannutasya, kind of cadential half avroha. So if you look at the design, it is so beautiful. It seems very simple, but the elegance in it is something which is indescribable. Parvati kumAram bhavaye satatam saravana bhava guru guha sri Parvati kumAram bhavaye satatam saravana bhava guru guha sri. That Madhyamakala, again, as seeming as a continuity of the original line of the Pallavi. Magama nidani risa nidani. It teaches you the raga. In the charana, nATa is described in the Madhyamakala very beautifully. Manikya makuta shobhita manita guna vaibhavam. Manikya samagasa. That murchana. Manita guna vaibhavam. He brings out the resonance of manita, swarakshara. Manita. The same thing we'll see how he teaches the raga in a similar way in Buddhamashriyamyaham also. This sama manida, that resonance which is there in the raga nATa Kurji. That swarakshara, if you're able to perceive and internalize, it becomes more beautiful. That is made possible because of that, the Madhyamakala. In the Kriti Subramanyena Rakshitoham, Shuddha Danyasi, he embeds a particular rahasya, a temple aspect in the charana. Subramanyena Rakshitoham, Subramanyena Rakshitoham. Ashtadasha lochana akhandena Subramanyena. Very beautiful kriti in Shuddha Danyasi. In the charanam, Venkateswara nama rupena vichitra vishakha mahotsavena shukarahasya prakasa guru guhena Kritika suta shuddha dhanyena subram. Dhanyena subram. That rhyming and the resonance. Why does he choose Shuddha Danyasi for subram? Dhanyena. And that is what he stresses in the Madhyamakala. Dhanya means to be blessed. So in this, Venkateshwara nama rupena, it refers to Tirupati Balaji. He is known Nama Rupena. Venkateshwara Nama Rupena Vichitra Vishakha Mahotsavena. This Vishakha Mahotsava is always done for Subramanya, for Murugan only. So the Lord who is there is known as Venkateshwara, but is actually Subramanya. The tradition of Murugan temples on top of the hill is more the norm. And he says, Shukarahasya. Shuka knew this secret. So even something which is inconvenient in the Madhyamakala Sahitya, he places it there. This is open for people to disagree. Okay, that's fine. But if you are not mired in all these categories of Vishnu and Shiva and all that and them being different, this is very beautiful to observe. That here is Venkateshwara, which Dikshitar says is Muruga. Here the idea of what is called syncopation. Vichitra Vishaka Mahotsavena. That sense of a galloping of a horse. Tadhim, that tadhimta is what is called syncopation. Because in Tamil, Brindama will say, Usi Tatti Padaradu. Vichitra Vishaka Mahotsave. That kind of feel, you get it. for the Kriti associated with our Tuesday, which is Mangalavaram. Mangalavaram, he stresses again and again that it is Mangalavaram, there is nothing inauspicious about Tuesday. That's the message he gives. Because Mangalavaram, Bhumi kumAram, Varam Varam. Bhumi kumAram. Mars is, now we know that it has split away from the earth. It's a Kumara of Bhumi. Bhumi Kumara. Now astronomers agree that Mars is indeed the red planet and its soil is very similar to that of the earth. Because at some point in time, millions of years ago, it has separated from the mass that the earth was. In this Kriti, Angaraka Ashrayamyaham, in all three sections there is a Madhyamakala. Pallavi, Anupallavi and Charanam. Angaraka Ashrayamyaham Vinata Shrita Jana Mandaram Mangalavaram Bhumi kumAram Varam Varam Angaragama Sayamyaham. That Mangalavaram Bhumi kumAram Varam Varam. Sometimes he uses these words twice because of a particular resonance that it creates. Namaste, Namaste, Bhaja Re Re. In his mind, it gives a certain amount of resonance. Not that he needs to use it. He has millions of words, appropriate words in his consciousness, but it's very nice. The Varam also refers to week. The repeat of the word or the whole phrase Varam Varam is a poetic tradition. We hear it in compositions of Sadashiva Brahmendra, in Jayadeva, in Narayana Tirthar. We are hearing this. So, in so many ways, Muttuswami Dikshitar is aware of everything that has gone on before him. So he sees himself as an inheritor of a great tradition and a passer on of the great tradition. Even in prosody, you see that so beautifully it is. In this Madhyamakala, we see that aspect coming out. In the Anupallavi, he persists with the idea of Mangalam. Mangalam Kambugalam mUlAdhAra Madayugalam Mangaladayaka Turangam Makarotungam Ta Tadim Ta Tadim Ta Takatadim Takadim. That's how the rhythm comes. Mangalam Kambugalam mUlAdhAra Madayugalam Mangaladayaka Turangam Makarotungam Angarakam Ashrayamyaham. In the Charana, again, it contains astrological, astronomical truths. Bhanu Chandra Guru Mitram, that is, I don't know astrology, but this refers to the idea of the horoscope and the chart where Bhanu, Chandra and Guru, when they are together, Bhanu, Chandra, Guru, when these three planetary bodies are together, so Madhyamakala is also used as a vehicle to convey thought. He refers to a particular combination which is very rare, Ati Vichitram. Bhanu, Chandra, Guru Mitram, Bhasamana Sukhalatram, Janustahasta Chitram, Chaturbhudamati Vichitram Angarakamashrayamyaham. Again here, replete with Raga Lakshana. The Murchanas of the Raga. In the Panchabhuta Kriti in Bhairavi Chintayamakandam Mulakandam on the Prithvi Lingam, the reference to Prithvi Lingam comes in the Madhyamakala. The Graha of the Madhyamakala is Atita, before the beat. Uttunga Kamaniya Vrishaturangam Bhairavi Prasangam Guru Guhantarangam Prithvi Lingam Chintayamakandamula Kandam. And very beautiful Bhairavi. which is a Swaraksharam, Uttunga Kamaniyavre Nirava, which is Bhairavi. And of course, like I said, the Prithvi Lingam, the significance of the Panchabhuta, that of the earth, is also embedded in the Madhyamakala section. Srivara Lakshmi Namastubhyam Vasuprade. In the Pallavi itself, you have a very beautiful yati. What is a yati? A yati is a set of sahitya lines or poetry lines which follow a particular decreasing or increasing nature, and that creates a design. For example, if the first line is long, second line is slightly shorter, third line is even more shorter, it creates a design, what is called a gopuchayati. The reverse of it, from small to big, is called shotovahayati. If all the lines are of equal length, they are called samayati. If there's a combination, there is one damaruyati, which is big at the ends and at the center it is smaller. Or the reverse of that, from small to big and big to small, that is called mridangayati. So this is part of the Tala Dasapranas, and this you find that in 4-5 of Muttuswami Dikshitar's Madhyamakala, you find this device being used. In this, Shri Varalakshmi Namastubhyam Vasuprade Shri Sarasapade Rasapade Sapade Pade Pade. This is rendered in two ways. First, it is rendered in the slow speed and then as Madhyamakala. So, I just sang the faster one because I think the way the yati comes out more clearly is in the Madhyamakala. Shri Sarasapade Rasapade Sapade Pade Pade Shri Varalakshmi Namastubhyam. The Kamboji Khanda Atatala Navavarna, again very beautiful, very different kind of Kamboji one hears in the Madhyamakala. Kamala Nagara Viharinyai Kala Samuha Samharinyai Kamaniya Rataharinyai Kali Kalmasha Pariharinyai Malambi Kayai. The nyasa at pa, ri, at different points, how to go to the nyasa, he teaches you. That yai prasa, which comes because of the vibhakti, is maintained here. Kamalambika yai. Here also it is all yai, endings. The prasa is maintained. Even in the charana, Madhyamakala, the same prasa. So majestic. Sakumkumadile Chara Charadi Kalpanayai Chikura Vidida Nilaganayai Chidananda Purnaganayai Malambi. There cannot be a more glorious Kamboja. So beautiful. And the splitting of the Khanda Ata as 6+1, 6+1. Sakumkumadile panayai. That is the one. Chara charadi kalpanayai. That yai is 1. 6+1, 6+1. That design he adopts for the Madhyamakala. In the Kriti, in Hemavati, Sri Kantimatim, in the Samashti Charana or the Anupalavi, because like I said, the idea of Samashti Charana, that term itself seems to be recent because it is not used in the Sangeeta Sampradaya Pradarshini. Sriram Dikshitar calls it just Anupalavi. Shuka Shaunakadi Sadaradhitam Shuddhatam Raparni Tadastitam Shankadhyashtotara Sahasra Kalashabhishekhamodam Surahitam Shri Kantimatim. So how the words that he chooses, the compound words, add to the glory of the sound. Shankadhyashtotara Sahasra. The Sahasra Kalasha Abhisheka is what he's saying. Shanka Adi Ashtotara Kalasha Sahasra Kalasha Abhisheka. So describing the process of worshipping Kantimati. But that comes to us in this Hemavati as a very beautiful long line. Shankadhyashtotara Sahasra Kalashabhishekhamodam Surahitam Shri. Kumara Guru Guga Viditam Kapibridadi Sannutam Ramanatham. So the thumb is a very important prasa in this composition for Dikshitar, and he maintains it throughout. Kumara Guru Guga Viditam Kapibridadi Sannutam Ramanatham Bhajeham Ramachandra Pujitam. In the Charanam, Hastamalakana Hatakamaya Haradharam Hatyadi Paparam Hamsa Sohakaram. He describes the whole raga. The whole of Pantuvrali, or what he calls Kasi Ramakriya, comes out beautifully in the Madhyamakala. Sometimes a Bijakshara is also presented in the Madhyamakala. The Sri Kamalambikayam Bhaktim Karomi, in this Kriti, in the Madhyamakala of the Anupallavi, Hrim Kara Vipinarinyam Hrim Kara Susharidrinyam Hrim Kara Tarumanjaryam Hrim Kareshwaryam Gauryam Sri. Hrim, that Bijakshara, is very relevant to that particular avarana, and hence that is presented in the Madhyamakala of the Anupallavi. In the Charana, the Madhyamakala is Karadrita Veenavadinyam Kamala Nagara Vinodinyam Suranaravuni Janamodinyam Guruguga Paraprasadinyam Sri. As far as I am concerned, this is the prasada of Sahana that Muttuswami Dikshitar gives us. Right? Guruguha Vara Prasadinyam. Because I just give up. Where else can you find a Sahana more beautiful than this? And many of the phrases are new. They are not part of the stereotypical Sahana. Parimaga Mari Garisa Karadrita Veenavadinyam Kamala Nagaravi Pamanida Vinodinyam Suranaravuni Janamodinyam Guruguha Paraprasadinyam. So beautiful, the descent from Paturi. How do we know Sahana? We know Sahana through these compositions. Nobody teaches us that Parigama Pamagamariga. This Madhyamakala teaches me that. Many times, the length of the Madhyamakala in the Anupallavi and the Charana are not equal. The Anupallavi Madhyamakala is invariably shorter than the Charana, because the Charana is the glorious end of the composition, and hence the Madhyamakala at the end of the Charana of Muttuswami Dikshitar compositions is very, very comprehensive. It is a bigger chunk. In this Kriti in nATa Kurunji, in the Navagraha series for Wednesday, Budham Ashrayami Satatam, the Anupallavi Madhyamakāla is like this. Madhura Kavita Pradam Mahaniya. Again, the beautiful Swarakshara on Ni. Mahaniya Sampadam Budhama chayami tatam. After the charana, the Madhyamakāla sahitya. Kinkarajana mahitam kilbishadi ragitam shankara bhaktahitam sadananda sahitam Budhama. What is beautiful is that this same musical entity, in one place the Swarakshara is Ni, in one place it is Dha. This is what the closeness of Ni and Dha in nATa Kurunji, Ni Da Maga, right? So Mahaniya, it is Ni there, he calls it Ni there. Here Sada, the same musical entity. Oradatla Ni Kuprar, he calls it Ni, one place he calls it Da. It gives me a clue as to how vistara, how vast his absorption of the raga is. This is not a coincidence. In nATa Kurunji, Sanida Padani Sanida Magasa, that idea, he reinstates the concept of the octave jump. Sa Kinkarajana Mahitam. This he does in the Buddha Janair. Even in that phrase, he goes from Sa to Sa and then comes down to Ni, which is apparently a Lakshana that we have to observe. That Sa, Nida, Nida, that particular Gamaka is part of the Murchana of nATa Kurunji Raga. In the Kriti Kanchadala Adakshi, in the Raga Manohari, it is called only Manohari, it is not Kamala Manohari. The word Kamala Manohari comes about later because there is a different Manohari by Tyagaraja, and hence this comes about like that. The entire Anupallavi is Madhyamakāla, which is not very common in Muttuswami Dikshitar case. Kunjara Gamane Mani Mandida Manjula Charane Mamava Shiva Panjara Suki Pankaja Mukhi Guru Guharanjani Durita Banjani Niranjani Ganjadalaya Takshi. Look at how he splits the first half of the tala. Kunjara Gamane Mani Mandida Manjula Charane, and he maintains the same split and rhythmic design in the second half. And then, of course, he changes it. Kunjara Gamane Mani Mandida Manjula Charane Mamava Shiva Panjara Suki Pankaja Mukhi Guru Guharanjani Durita Banjani Niranjani Ganjadalaya Takshi. So, the rhythmic setting is what is so bewitching. Ta taka taka dim, taka dimi taka ta taka taka dim, taka dimi panjara shuki pankaja mukhi, ta taka dimi ta taka dim, taka dimi ta 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 takita ta 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 taka ta ta taka tan ta ta ta. So very beautifully how the rhythmic cadence continues into Kanchadala Adakshi. In the charana, where there is a regular section and there is a very beautiful Madhyamakāla. Ekanekakshari bhuvaneshwari ekanandamrita Baswari ekagramanolaya karishikari ekamresha driheshwari shankari ganjadalaya takshi. How the kind of trance-like quality that rhythm gives you. The Antyakshara Prasa. And also the Prathamakshara Prasa. Eka, Eka, Ekamresha, Ekagramano, creates magic. In this Kriti, Sarasijanabha Sodari, in the Raga Naga Gandhari, the Madhyamakāla following the Charanam, the Prasa is that of Ni. Here again, because it's a relatively new Raga, Naga Gandhari is not a very common Raga 250 years back. It is still not a very common Raga today. It is the entire sketch of the raga that he presents in the Madhyamakala Sahitya. Sari magari sari mapa mabani nisa varaguru guha janani madhasamani mahishasuramardani mandagamani mangalavara pradayini sarasija nabhasodari shankari pahi mam sarasija nabhasodari. The rima panidava rima padama pagari sarima paninisa. That structure of the raga is brought out so beautifully. In the Kriti, in Kumada Kriya, Ardhanariswaram, the Panchama Varjita character of the raga is brought out so beautifully in the Madhyamakala. Nidama ga magani rigamadama gamadasa nidama ga. That dhasa prayoga also. Many people think that Kumada Kriya is just Pantuvarali minus the Panchama. It is not. Dasa, Dharisa, these two prayogas, murchanas are very important. Ardhanarishwari priyakaram abhayakaram varam ardhanarishwaram. So, sari gari mahadi garisa ridhanida nima dharisa ardhanarishwari priyakaram abhayakaram varam ardhanarishwaram. That Panchama Varjya is brought out well. In the Madhyamakala following the charana, Agamadi sannutam. I observed a very beautiful thing here. I don't know if it's my own imagination. Dikshitar could have done Agamadi sannutam, right? But what I have learned is Agama. So an inverted Swarakshara. This is the way sometimes you find things in it which are probably not there but which make life more beautiful. Agamadi sannutam ananta veda goshitam amareshadi sevitam aratavarna shobhitam ardhana dishwaram. Again, this is not a very common raga, so it's important for Dikshitar to bring out the dasa and dharisa prayoga in the raga. And like I said, when you zoom out, the Madhyamakala will give you that idea of the raga much more clearly than if it were to be done in a melismatic slow passage. Like the idea we have of Madhyamakala as being fast, right? We have equated the Madhyamakala word with fast. Madhyamakala kriti means fast kriti. But Madhyamakala is a very beautiful state of existence. You know, in that middle tempo of life. Philosophically, if I look at it, so Dikshitar also teaches you that, how to live in that very middle-paced, beautiful way of living. Harivaksha sthalalayam harinim charanaki salayam karakamala dhrita kuvalayam marakata manimaya valayam Hiranmayim Lakshmi. The range of the raga up to the Madhyama below. Damada Karakamala Dhrita Kuvalayam Harivaksha Salalayam. So it shows the gamut of the raga. The Madhyamakala brings out. Of course, the prasa is so effortlessly brilliant. In the Madhyamakala following the charanam, Chita Kirana Nipavadanam Sruta Chintamani Sadanam Pitavasanam Guru Guhamadula Kantam Lalitam Hiran. Raga Mudra as the beautiful last word of the composition. Guru Guhamadula. If I sing that, it becomes Swarakshara. Guru Guhamadula Kantam Lalitam Hiranmayim Lakshmi. Leelaya Gopaveshadhara mUlAdhAra, sridhara, damodara varra. That Bani Prayoga, damodara varra. And even mUlAdhAra, the way the Rishabha in Bhairavi comes, Leelaya Nirisa. Every inch of that line is Bhairavi. Leelaya Gopaveshadhara, mUlAdhAra, sridhara, damodara varra, vallabhA. The Madhyamakala after the charana, I see it in 4 parts. Dronakarna Duryodhanadihara is the Veera of Raga Bhairavi. Draupadi Mana Samrakshanakara is the compassionate aspect of Bhairavi. Vainika Gayaka Guru Guhanuta is the musical, beautiful part of, Krishna as music itself. Puravairi Vihita is Shiva actually. Puravairi Vihita, that is what comes Atita. Very similar to how it is in the Madhyamakala after the Anupalavi. The Gopika Manohara is the romantic aspect of Bhairavi. So Bhairavi in 4 forms. Dronakarna Duryodhanadihara, Draupadi Mana Samrakshanakara, Vainika Gayaka Guru Guganuta, Puravairi Vihita Gopika Manohara Bala. Very beautiful. Dronakarna Duryodhana Manida. He stresses that again and again in the composition. Manida pa. So we understand, okay, Bhairavi has to have that particular prayoga. Dronakarna Duryodhana Dihara, Draupadi Mana. Whenever the Madhyama comes as plain, without the Rigama, Adilama Varpo, Pudam Varana. Rigama. It's a very soft aspect of the Madhyama of Bhairavi. Draupadi Mana Samrakshanakara, Vainika Gayaka. Dikshitar asserts that he's the Vainika first and Gayaka second. Vainika Gayaka Guru Guganuta, Puravairi Vihita Gopika Manohara. That last line has to be sung with a lot of joy. The romantic sense of Bhairavi. Gopika Manohara. The great MDR used to sing this line that way. Gopika Manohara. The Ragathodu Swarupam vande and the Murchanas are Tandi. It is beyond the Murchanas that we see that when these compositions are handled by great masters who have thought about all these things. Maybe they have not articulated it, but they have definitely internalized it at that very deep level. In the Kriti, in Devakriya, Shri Guru Guhataraya Shumam. Very interestingly, the Madhyamakala, the Pallavi has 2 takes. Shri Guru Guhataraya Shumam Saravana Bhava Shri. That is the first take of the Madhyamakala. And of course, later on when you sing the Pallavi itself, Shri Guru Guhataraya Shumam, it assumes a rhythmic character. Surapati Shripati Ratipati Vapati Kshitipati Pasupati Sevita Shri Guru Guhatara. If you look at the jati of it, Surapati Shripati Tata Kita Ta Kita Tata Kita Ta Kita Tata Kita Tata Kita Ta Kita. The jati is so beautifully set. So when you are imbibing or listening to this line, you are listening to the jati also. Only thing you don't realize you are listening to the jati. Jati has been, enveloped by the sahityam. The prasa of the rhyme of Pati is so beautiful. In the Madhyamakala following the Samashti Charana. Bhogiraja Vinuta Pada Bhudeva Kriyamoda Yogiraja Yoga Veda Yukta Manolaya Vinoda Sri Guru Gukataraya Sumam. So here you look at the rhythmic orientation, the Solukate Bhogiraja Vinuta Pada Bhudeva Kriyamoda Tata Dhim Tata Kita Dhim Tata Dhim Tata Dhim Tata. Second line. Yogi Raja Yoga Veda Yukta Manolaya Vinoda Taka Dhim Taka Dhim Taka Kita Dhim Takita Dhim. So that is the jati is what is very fascinating about Madhyamakala in some kritis. We shall conclude with this glorious episode on Madhyamakala Sahitya of Muttuswami Dikshitar kritis with, I think, what was his favorite raga, which is shrI, and his dearest Tripura Sundari, who is at the center of his existence, his Sri Vidya Upasana, with the Mangala Kriti of the Navavarna, Sri Kamalambike Shive Pahimam. In this Kriti, Sri Kamalambike Shive Pahimam Lalite Sripati Vinute Chita Site Shiva Sahite. This line, actually the Madhyamakala begins with Lalite. So it's in Khanda Eka. Lalite Sripati Vinute Chita Site Shiva Sahite Sri Kamalambike. The Madhyamakala Sahitya after the Charana is more full-blown Shri. It starts in the upper octaves. Chakam Varisatodari Chandrakala Shankari Shankara Guru Guha Bhaktava Shankari Ekakshari Bhuvaneshwari Isha Priyakari Sri Kari Sukha Kari Sri mahA Tripura Sundari Sri. All the namas of the goddess, all of them ending with the prasa of Ri, stressing the Rishabha. Ri, Chakaubari, Varakshara, the melody itself stressing the Rigari. Chakaubari Sadodari Chandrakala Shankari Shankara Guru Guha Bhaktava Shankari Ekakshari Bhuvaneshwari Isha Priyakari Sri Kari Sukha Kari Sri mahA Tripura Sundari Sri. That Padhani Prayoga. Sri Kari Sukha Kari, where some feel that Sri doesn't have the Dha. I think in Tyagaraja's way, there is that the Chatushruti Daivata doesn't make an appearance in the Pancharatna Kriti. But in Dikshitar's Sri Raga, it is definitely there, and most of the time it is at the end of the Kriti. So it is not a primary thing, it is just a beautiful ending. This is only for illustrative purposes. You should go and listen to these compositions, especially the Madhyamakalas, and try to, see what all is happening there.
Shri Matribhutam Trishira Girinatham Shri मातृभूतं त्रिशिरगिरिनाथं श्री मातृभूतं त्रिशिरगिरिनाथं हृदि चिन्तये सुगन्धि कुन्तलाम्बसमेतं 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 श्री मातृभूतं त्रिशिरगिरिनाथम् सोमसखं नत शुकजनकं सोमसखं नत शुकजनकं सोमसखं नत शुकजनकं सोमसखं नत शुकजनकं नळकमादिविजय कमनीयङ्गं कमादिविजय कमनीयङ्गं सोमं शिरोधृत सूर्यगङ्गं सोमं शिरोधृत सूर्यगङ्गं कोमलकरधृत कुरङ्गं गुरुगुहान्तरङ्गलिङ्गं कोमलकरधृत कुरङ्गं गुरुगुहान्तरङ्गलिङ्गं श्री मातृभूतं त्रिशिरगिरिनाथं हृदि चिन्तये वसवादिदेव वन्दित चरणं वैश्यजाति स्त्री वेषधरणं वसवादिदेव वन्दित चरणं वैश्यजाति स्त्री वासुदेवमखितं भवतरणं वासनादिरहित अन्तःकरणं वासुदेवमखितं भवतरणं वासनादिरहित अन्तःकरणं तरहास त्रिपुरादिकरणं वासुकी प्रमुखाभरणं आसमान नवावरणं दशजन सन्तोषकरणं सुभासितनवजवन्ति पुष्पविकास प्रियहृदयं सदयं मासवर्षवाक्षोत्सवविभवं सदाशिवं परमशिवं श्रीमातृभूतं ऋषिरगिरिनाथम् दरहास त्रिपुरादिकरणं वासुकी प्रमुखाभरणं भासमान नवावरणं दशजन सन्तोषकरणं सुभासितनवजवन्ति पुष्पविकास प्रियहृदयं सदयं मासवर्षवाक्षोत्सवविभवं सदाशिवं परमशिवं श्रीमातृभूतं त्रिशिरगिरिनाथं हृदि चिन्तये सुगन्ध